Welcome to the YouTube channel of Applied Theatre India Foundation. And as you all know, that we keep inviting our past students who have completed the diploma in applied theatre and who are doing a really good work in the society in any sections for that matter. So today we have somebody coming from Gujarat. So let us welcome Aditi from Vadodara and let us try to understand what exactly she's doing and how applied theatre is helping her shaping up her career as well as how this is personally benefiting her. All right. So my request to all of you is please subscribe to this channel because we are coming up with a lot of different interviews, concepts, a lot of different ideas regarding applied theatre. And the purpose of Applied Theatre India Foundation is to create awareness and provide education in the area of applied theatre in India, especially in India. So, kind request to please subscribe. Also, share it with as many people as possible because together we can spread awareness about applied theatre. So, let's welcome Aditi from Vadodara. Welcome, Aditi.
Thank you. Good morning.
Very good morning. Okay, so Aditi is from Vadodara, Gujarat. She's a teacher by profession and she has been working with kids for a very long time. So she had completed her diploma in applied theatre and working very interestingly in the field of education. So today we'll try to understand how it works for her and what exactly happens. So before we begin, Aditi, please tell us your background, your schooling, how you're connected with theatre.
Alright, so I'm born and brought up in Vadodara, and my basic qualification is I'm an MBA in marketing. But academics, education, creativity has always interested me. So I got into academic teaching for a few years. Thereafter, I gradually started shifting towards creative writing and more things related to the communication skills. And it is then that I started working across age groups, and then COVID struck. And then what happened was that I suffered from a professional burnout. Like, where am I going? What is my aim? And then I started attending theater workshops, like traditional theater workshops. Acting never interested me. Frankly speaking, acting never interested me. But creating something, those things, they actually caught my attention. And then, things started normalizing, and I started using what I had learned in the theater in my communication skills coaching. And it is then that I realized that theater is something which is so dynamic, so powerful. And then I realized that if I really want to do it, let me get myself, into the mainstream. Then I started searching for things where I could learn. Because when you're dealing with people, you cannot always experiment. You cannot go and experiment. Mujhe aisa lagta hai that I feel I should do this. And it is then that I came across this course of Applied Theatre India. And I started researching what this course is all about. And so here I am. Now I proudly call myself as an applied theatre facilitator, or rather a corporate trainer who specializes in theatre-based techniques.
Absolutely. So there are a lot of people who got connected with us during COVID time because foundation also started during COVID time, and a lot of people sitting at home and are not aware what exactly to do. Where we started, and
Right.
we were doing a lot of webinars and some online courses at that point of time. That's how people got connected with us. So you decided to get on the diploma program. So how was
Yeah.
that experience? Where we have 5 month long diploma, it's a online plus offline, it's a hybrid mode. How was that experience for you?
So frankly, I attended your webinar where you were giving information about how this course is going to be all about. And the initial 15 minutes were, I don't think I can do this. I mean, is it for me? What am I going to do in this? Because there were so many terms that you were using which I had never heard of, like a playback theater, the theater of the oppressed. I only knew theater. I didn't know what all these things were. So I had my own questions and dilemmas. And then I started researching on what all these things were. And I realized that these things are practiced all over the world. It's not just in India, they're practiced all over the world. It is just that maybe the awareness is a little less in India, so I may not have heard about all these things. And then I decided that I'm going to enroll for this program. Chalo, enroll kar lete hain. Let me see. Anyway, it was a hybrid. So it was very comfortable for me managing my household, my kids, and then coming to Pune for that the in-person module. For the first two classes, when you were talking about safe space, that concept itself, it was completely alien to me. That how do I create a safe space? I only knew what is a physical safe space. Right, being a mother or somebody who's dealt with children for a very long time, I knew that what is a physical safe space, but I had no clue what an emotional safe space is. So, I think yours were the first sessions that I started attending, and you were recommending a few books and everything. As I got reading into those things, I realized, my God, this is so vast, but so relevant and absolutely required. Forget about making a career in it. Even in your day-to-day personal life, also it is required. My experience as we proceeded from the offline to online again, sorry, the online to offline, it was amazing. So by the time I came to Pune for the first offline module of Ravi, I was already mentally prepared in my mind, what am I here for? And by the time Ravi's module ended, I was sure I wanted to make a career in this, that this is something that I've always wanted to do. People are something that I've always loved. And if I love people, this is the only way in which I can create something for the people which is actually measurable, that it is something that will stay with them. See what happens in a traditional training or even a teaching profession for that matter. Things remain with people when you are actually doing those sessions. But applied theatre facilitations are something that stay with them even after you've left. So I decided by that time that this is something that I always want to do. And I was very clear. By the time 3 modules were over, I was clear that this is something that I want to pursue now.
Absolutely, like what you said is correct. Whenever you're impacting anybody through applied theater, that impact is long lasting, and that's because of the process that we follow. But what happened to you as a person? Like, what is your personal benefit?
Ah, undergone a tremendous change after taking these modules or sessions, or getting this diploma. Initially, the thought was that this is a career option. Then I realized that this entire thing has been very therapeutic for me also. I understood the meaning of creating a safe space for others and for myself also. I also realized that there are a few things which may not be in your physical control to change, but definitely they are in your emotional or your mental control to overcome them. You might not change things always, but you definitely overcome them. That is on my personal front, that I've become a lot more patient. I think I've become a lot more patient after attending these sessions. I got to meet a lot of people, participants as well as the mentors. So people's perceptions, the perspectives, they greatly affected the way I think. My thought process is clearer. The vision is a little more far than before. On the professional front, as a facilitator, I actually see a 360-degree change in myself.
Mm.
The kind of space that I'm creating for my participants is very different. So, if I want to, say it in very short, I'll say that this journey has been from an educator to a trainer, and from there to a facilitator.
Absolutely.
So, from a trainer, I have changed into a facilitator, and I facilitate the process. I am no more training people. I am only helping them bring out something that they already had, or maybe organize what they already had. So, as a person, it has made me very patient. As a person, it has made my vision very clear. And as a facilitator, it has made me more approachable, and it has helped me to create a space for people where they can come and explore themselves.
Oh, that's really wonderful to listen, and it feels so happy, when my students started speaking my own language, and then hearing back.
Also, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I
Yeah,
always use your sentence. Applied theater is like water. You can mix it anywhere.
absolutely, absolutely, it is. It is. So you go to any area with any client group, with any people, it is
True.
such a fantastic methodology that you can actually work with, even a 3-year-old kid to 70 year
True.
person. It doesn't matter at all. Great, great. So, coming to your professional development, because I think it's been almost 2 years now you have completed, and how does that journey been like? The one transformation you talked about yourself, but how the transformation as far as your profession is concerned, and how applied theater is helping you with that.
See, initially I was wanting to do more of the capacity building programs, wherein you use pure applied theater, you use the TO techniques, and you start doing the capacity building. But then it has got its own limitation after a certain point of time, and I wanted to explore more work. So now what I've started doing is that I've started using these techniques in a regular sort of a technique. I'll give you a very simple example. For example, the Johari window, which is used by everybody for
Yeah.
a communication model, like to understand yourself and then, to your surroundings, the Johari window. But if you closely observe the Johari window and the four quadrants, you will realize that the Johari window is not just about your own self, it is also about connecting with your surroundings. So now I've started using my tools to make this interesting. What is happening is you put it on the PPT, people look at it, you give them a few words, and you're done with it. But if you want the Johari Windows model to remain with them, you have to get them on the floor and experiment those things, interact with others, and then find out a lot of things about themselves. Even the transactional communication models, which is a very popular model in corporates, that we are doing a transactional communication model. Now, what's a transactional communication model? It is just a model, two-way model, wherein the communication is happening both way. In applied theater, our basic foundation itself is a transactional communication model.
Correct.
So now I've started using these with the traditional corporate training models, and the impact is way more. This said, the techniques can be used across age groups. So I have worked extensively in NGOs that are dealing with underprivileged children, and I have got them on the floor to discover themselves, to find inner potentials, to collaborate, make a combined story, find out what are the similarities, find out where do they agree, and also respectfully disagree. So on the professional front, I'm doing a variety of work. So right from working from women empowerment to working towards company for a year-long program where the holistic approach towards their employees is done. So the apply and I just keep on discovering a lot of things. I use a lot of time in making my modules because I don't want them to be run of the mill. So if I'm promising a client that I am going to use this, I use a lot of time in actually researching how this module can be done the applied theater way. And to my own surprise, most of the things can be done in an applied theater way. And they turn out like every participant feels that this is for me that you are doing.
Yes.
It's very immersive and participative. In a typical traditional training program, you do it and you come out. There are only 5 people who are listening to us, very honestly. But in these modules, because they are immersed in the process, at the end of 2 hours, everyone feels that this module was exactly for me. And that is the beauty of the entire process. So, on a professional front, it is greatly helping me in creating the impact that I want to create.
I think there are a lot of important things that you have brought out. The one I really liked is, if you really want to work on the field, you have to spend more time at home.
Yes.
Working on the session plan, then imagining the session plan, that how this will going to work, and more you do that, you become seasoned in that, and then a lot of time,
Yes.
even after doing that, there are elements of surprises that you get at the workshop. I think that's a part of the game, and that's the beauty. Like you enjoy that,
Yes.
right? So something happened
True.
like this.
See, Kaustubh, as a trainer, when I was working as a trainer, my focus was always on feedbacks. Bazaya, okay? Now my focus has changed towards reflections, and there are reflections which actually come as a surprise. So one of the companies that I was working for, it was a Women's Day mass facilitation program. There were around 110 women that I was facilitating, and I used a combination of performance storytelling and the experiential learning. So a little bit of forum theater and the TO games, or what we've been following. At the end of the session, because there were 110, so obviously I couldn't get the reflections for everyone. So I just said that, does anybody want to say anything? And let me mention that these women were actually from a plant. So right from the plant to their managerial level, they had combined everybody. And everybody was there on the same floor, doing the same kind of activities. So one of the reflections that I clearly remember in that session was that I ended the session with a very calm music, and they were just supposed to sit and reflect the entire session. And out of 110, there were 30 women who were crying at the end of that session. And as a facilitator, I'm glad that I had undergone this diploma, because I had become emotionally very strong by that time. So
Absolutely.
at the end, and you've seen me crying in those diploma programs, that how much I have cried while taking those sessions. So for me, I had become very strong by that time. And in spite of having 30 women crying in front of me and the rest of them frozen, I was still there looking at them and hoping to make them share their reflections. Among so many reflections that they shared, like, I've realized one thing, that I have immense potential. There was one lady who actually got up and said that, do you see my chopped hair? I have very short hair. I said, yeah, you look pretty good in your short hair. So she said, you want to know why I've cut my hair short? And today, after your 3 hours program, I have had the courage to say this in front of people, that I have cut my hair short as a rebellious thing towards my husband. Because she was a victim of domestic abuse, and he used to pull her hair while beating her. I said, nobody knows this. I told everybody this is out of fashion. But after 3 hours, I realized to accept myself and tell this in front of my all co-workers, that I'm a victim of domestic abuse, and I cut off my hair just to show it to him what I can do. So that was an eye-opening thing for me, that women undergo so many things and they don't admit this in front of anyone. And today, at the end of a 3-hour program, she has the courage to admit this in front of her co-workers. And that is something that I felt that I had left a lasting impact on her. Then in another session, there was a gentleman who said that after years, I feel included in my own workplace. And I was like, why would you say that? So he said, I actually belong to the so-called lower caste community in the Indian society, as they say. And for a long time, I have felt that I have not been included. But today, when we were doing a collaborative approach, my ideas were respected. For the first time, I had the courage to share it to people what I feel, even if it was a fictional thing that they were doing. And I felt that this is what we leave them with,
Absolutely.
that this is what we've left them with. So feedbacks, Kaustubh, for me are really not important, because we use a lot of gamification. And the feedbacks are always, Aditi is very high energy. We had a lot of fun, बहुत मजा आया, हम बहुत हंसे, बहुत fresh लगा. But that's not something that I'm looking for. These reflections that you leave them with are something, and believe me, Kaustubh, they've been life-changing for me. That my every word is mattering to them. So the next time around, when I'm dealing with another group, I'm very careful to include those things in my sessions while I'm speaking. And like you always have said this, that theater is a very beautiful way in bringing about a change anywhere, in your personal life, in your social life, in your community. So even if I'm doing a program for a corporate, if I can bring about a change and indirectly or subtly approach the issues of domestic abuse, casteism, the discrimination for gender biases, I think I have made a difference in somebody's life and come back.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more because there are a lot of instances, that gives people breakthrough and realizations, and that's the learning we are talking about. It's not about,
True.
learning that we put on the PowerPoint. That is not something that we really look at. But what happens
Absolutely.
in people's life is very important. So, coming to the other side of feedback is accountability, right? Accountability towards yourself as a facilitator. So, what we are doing, how we are doing, and how we are justifying our work, and how we are updating our knowledge, and where we are standing and positioning ourselves as a facilitator. So, how you do that? Like, do you do any do you have any accountability metrics, or do you go through that? Do you reflect directly or indirectly? Maybe.
So what happens is that after your session's over, because as a facilitator, we are generally very highly critical about ourselves.
Yeah.
So I always have the dissatisfaction with me that I did not do enough. Having said that, now I've started, after coming back, I take my own time. Sometimes I write it down and I try to see that which activity impacted which group. Very frankly, all activities don't work with all groups. Sometimes there have been cases where I felt that, we shouldn't have done this, or it didn't create the impact that I wanted to create. So, as a facilitator, my accountability towards myself is sitting back and reflecting on uh, the, the change, or rather the reflections of the group as a whole, and also the individuals who are ready to participate. One very important thing for me is that if there are 50 participants, I've kept a benchmark for myself that if there are 50 participants, at least 35 should interact with me. Because you'll always have those 10 people who do not interact in the first session, 5 people who are permanently disinterested in your activities because of some other background that they've come with. But out of a 50, say, so the ratio wise, if I say that I would want around 70% of the people to interact with me and share things with me. If they don't do, then I feel that somewhere I've not done the right job. Now, these are my ways of holding myself accountable. Sometimes what happens is that the participants don't share there and then, but I always leave my WhatsApp number with them, or sometimes the company send me an email. So then there are reflections wherein they say that I wanted to say this, but I could not. So then that part two starts. That if they wanted to say why they could not say it over there. So as an applied data facilitator, I feel your job actually starts after you've completed your job. Because it's never job done. You
Correct.
are ready for the next session, not from a commercial point of view, but from your growth point of view. You have to come back and hold yourself accountable. You cannot come back feeling very happy that people clapped. They are going to clap because it's gamification. You are there. People know that they are a part of that process. Some of them actually they feel that because the company has done something for them, so they should clap and they should feel happy. But as a facilitator, my accountability is I hold myself accountable if people have not participated, if they have not reflected, or if it's a longer program, like if it's a 6-month program or if it's a 12-month program, if the company does not see a change, whatever is the problem statement that they have given me, if there is no call to action, then perhaps we need to rework on our methods.
Correct. So I think accountability matrix is different for each and every facilitator, and
Yes.
it need to evolve. Of course, there are certain set rules and set matrix and fundamentals that you can start with, but slowly it need to evolve, and then you need to look at your own practice, how it is going and how reflective it is. So yeah,
True.
so fantastic, and agreed on that part, and I'm glad that you're doing it, because a lot of people who are getting into this field, they don't get into this accountability matrix. Looking at yourself is not as easy as we are talking about, right?
I just want to add one thing over your perspective. As a practice, I'm maintaining this that I'm not an entertainer. I'm a facilitator. I empower. I don't entertain.
Correct.
If your purpose is to entertain, then you'll be called as a trainer who does gamification. But I am not an entertainer. I have maintained this as a practice. And even when I am approaching the companies, I tell them that I'm not here to entertain. I use the word theater because that's what what has made me. That's the process. We are not here to make Shah Rukh Khans out of you, or maybe I'm old generation, so I'm using Shah Rukh Khan. But I'm not here to create heroes and heroines out of your workforce over here. Because a lot many times people think that gamification is all about entertainment. But it's not entertainment. We are not there to entertain you. So, as a facilitator, for me, it's very important to build the pretext that I am not entertaining you. I'm here to empower you. So, for me, that's how I have practiced it. So, even if I'm losing out on some work, I'm okay with that, because that work is anyway not adding to my experience as a facilitator.
Correct.
So I
Correct.
don't want to be an entertainer for you. And even for Women's Day programs that I did, I was very clear with them that I am not going to entertain your people. If you want me there, I'll get your people to participate. You're not going to sit here and only listen to what I have to say. So for me, that's extremely important in this practice.
I'm glad to listen that because not very people realize this. And of course, with theater, there is a part of entertainment that people
Yeah.
like to, and they do encash this. But at some point of time, we, as a responsible facilitator, need to understand what kind of value we are adding. Or are we adding any value to that? Then only it makes sense.
True.
But I'm very glad to hear that. So, Aditi, coming to the last part of it, so there are a lot of people who are now aware about the term applied theater, but they are still in that kind of confusion whether to get in or not. You know, the way you started few years back, right? What would you like to tell these people who are aware and not sure whether they want to get in and how this will be and what will be there in this field? What would you like to tell them?
Kaustav, I would just like to add this that these methods, a lot of people feel that this is, tukka trial and error method. So I'll just mention something that recently I've been awarded as the Innovative Trainer of the Year award by the Indian Society of Training and Development. And I did an exclusive presentation. I'll share it in the group if you want. I did an exclusive presentation only and only on theater, story, and creative expression in corporate facilitation, not even education, not even social, not even communities. And this entire presentation, it was scrutinized. They asked me so many questions, and the jury members were senior people from HR and L&D.
Yeah.
So when I started the presentation, or when I participated in this, I had a self-doubt that, and when I had sent my application, the people over there, they even asked me that, is it a way of facilitation in corporates? I mean, what is this? We have heard it for the first time. So even if you've heard it for the first time, I would tell people, don't write it off. One is extremely helpful on your personal front. Whatever field you are into education, you are into communities, you are into the changing social spaces, or you are into, say, corporate spaces. This is only going to add to your existing skills. So if you have a skill of a trainer, you will now have the skill of a facilitator. And if you see globally, the shift is from training to facilitation. Training is now more technical training. Like if you have a safety training, you have a quality control training, they are called trainers. Excel, one who's teaching you MS Excel is called a trainer. But if it's a people skill, the shift is from the trainer to a facilitator. Now, how do you get these skills? Now, these skills, you acquire them. You can't learn them from a PPT. And applied theater facilitation, the modules that are dealt with, it will help you on a personal front to change as an individual and from a trainer to a facilitator. Now, why I'm saying that is that I've always dealt with children, I've dealt with adults, and by God's grace, I've always enjoyed the popularity of being very nice, being very empathetic and compassionate. Being empathetic, compassionate, sweet tongued, and nice is very different from creating a safe space and adding value to their life.
Correct.
So, that change, if you want to see in yourself, you will be able to do it through this course. Secondly, even if you want to start a new career, like for as far as I am concerned, I am solely focusing on being an applied theatre facilitator. My profile also says that I am an applied theatre facilitator. So I'm no more doing the other things, other kind of facilitations I've stopped doing. I'm a story artist, but I'm still focusing more on these things. So even if you want to restart your career, like there can be people who are like me, suffered a professional burnout, want a shift in career, you could begin your career with this and then explore that whether you want to work with children, whether you want to work in social spaces. There's a huge scope in social spaces also and in schools also. And you could decide for yourself that where you will be able to work, because the modules or the entire course is such you can apply it anywhere that you want. So it is for you to decide what you want to do. It for teachers and educators also, it's very good. You'll be able to convey your courses in a better manner. So anybody who wants to take this course up, I would say take the plunge. You have nothing to lose. Take the plunge, and you will get to meet a lot of wonderful people from all over India. You'll get to meet a lot of mentors who come with a very vast and a very different kind of experience. So you will lose nothing and you will gain a lot of things from there and come.
Fantastic. So, Aditi, thank you very much for being here today. And I'm glad that, a lot of our students, they have started calling themselves as applied theater facilitator, because that term itself is very responsible term. And when you use it, that simply says, how committed you are to your work. So,
True.
I wish you all the very best for whatever you are
Thank
doing.
you.
And soon, sometimes, I would like to explore that Zohar window that you do, because that's very interesting exploration for myself also. But thank you
True.
very much for coming here, and
Thank you so much.
keep doing a good thing, keep updating also, and whatever you're doing, I wish you all the very best.
Thank you so much, Kaustubh. It was a great walk down my journey. And hopefully we keep meeting very often.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kaustubh. Have a nice day.
Yeah, same to you.